everyone. I wanted to start by thanking the Chamber of Commerce of Eastern Connecticut for this breakfast, and for my parents and Williams for supporting me as I've grown in my education. Anyone can say that their parents, teachers, and mentors made them the person they are today, but I can say it with pride. I can name off teachers from every stage in my education who have inspired me, and that isn't surprising. It's a teacher's job to empower their students, and most of the adults in my life pull this off with grace. So many kids take their education for granted. For some kids, school is just 8 hours of staring off into space and a backpack full of papers they'll never fully appreciate. It's no wonder that when there's a classroom full of apathetic students, the teacher becomes apathetic as well, trying to push students through a rigid curriculum, hoping that they'll remember exactly 62% of the information and sending them off, bitter and jaded. But this is not the environment I've seen at Williams, and it's not the environment I hope for in the world. Perhaps it's unrealistic to wish for a world where teachers and students work together to fully comprehend and analyze different materials, but this is the world I grew up in. So can you blame me for dreaming of nothing less? I believe that when a community cherishes knowledge, children grow up wanting to learn. From a young age, I was raised to believe that I could do anything. And while I know that anything is an impossibly general term, I believe that small phrase served as a self-fulfilling prophecy. But telling a child he or she can do anything is a double-edged sword, which is why I'm thankful for the other lesson I was taught, that nothing comes without hard work. These two notions together guided me towards my success, and while I love and respect all of my parents' wisdom and words of encouragement, they couldn't teach me these things alone. I suppose now is as good a time as any for that cheesy saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It may be cheesy, but it's also true. So many people are involved in helping others that if you connected a string between all the people who have helped each other, it would touch every person in the whole world. Of course, that would be a ridiculously long string. It's much easier to find a group of people who live in your general area, a community. But a community is so much more than a location. It's the willingness of those people to foster growth, just as a child's parents would do. Now I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes when my parents give me advice, I roll my eyes and say, yeah, but hearing that same advice from someone else could completely change my point of view. That is the power of a community. Before, when I said that I could do anything, that was a lie. No single person can do anything, but a community of people certainly can. They just have to put their minds together. Which brings me back to education. Education creates leaders, builders, communicators, all sorts of amazing people. And whether your education comes from Yale University or how-to YouTube videos, it's important to have one. But when a community doesn't value education, it's difficult for a child to either. My town doesn't always put the same sort of emphasis on the school system that I believe they should. I've watched the bill to fund our schools fail because some people in my town don't care that an 8th grade textbook still claims that Pluto is a planet. But there is a community in my town that believes in education and fostered me. They work for kids like me to be able to have a passion for learning. Because maybe if more kids looked at their whiteboards the way they look at their Instagram feeds, more people would realize why up-to-date textbooks are important, and more teachers would join this community, and slowly but surely, we would work towards that idyllic dream of mine where teachers and students are going beyond the curriculum and learning new things about the world together. I was asked to think about the importance of community interaction with educational institutions, and now I can't think of anything less important than that. Because educational institutions are communities, and communities are educational institutions. They need to be supported together. It's the only way we could help the world, and I believe that together we can. Thank you.